So I thought I'd do a video, like a sped up video of me cleaning the rabbits' rooms. I thought that might be something different for people to see. But I thought that I maybe could do a lot quicker than like 2 times the usual speed on the video. I don't know, is that just me? Am I like remembering that wrongly? I don't know. But I thought it used to go up to like 4 or 5 times speed. So now I'm stuck with a really long video of me cleaning, which nobody probably wants to see. But I'd committed, so I thought, well, I'll keep doing it. I'll keep going with it, and if someone wants to watch it, they're good and well, and if not, then I guess at least I've got proof that I do actually clean the bunny rooms. So if anyone asks me why my house is an absolute mess and why I don't clean, I can say, well, look, here's something I prepared like 5 minutes ago, because we all know how quickly rabbits make a mess again. So so I thought I'll go ahead and keep going, but seriously, it's crazy how quickly they do mess things up again. Like sometimes I'm cleaning the pens and I'll be cleaning one end and they'll have already messed up the end I've just done, and it's so quick how quickly it can get messy again. But I mean, I understand it must be frustrating for them, like they've taken the last day or whatever to make their area exactly as they like it, put their boxes and their toys in position, pooped all around their perimeter of their area of their pen, you know, to let other rabbits know this is my space, don't enter unless you want to fight, buddy. And then I come in 2 seconds and just destroy it all. I mean, that must be frustrating for them, so I understand. But you know, at least if they're pooping lots and they're busy and rearranging lots, at least they're happy and they're healthy, and that's got to see that as a blessing, not a curse, I guess. And that's how you've got to view it, not to go crazy as a bunny guardian. But yeah, so you know, once you understand why they do that, like I understand why they poop around a lot around the edges of their pen, especially because that's what they do in the wild, like at the entrance to their burrows or their warrens, their underground tunnels. Often they'll intersect other rabbit tunnels, so they'll poop right round the entrance to their area, and having poop right at that entrance lets other rabbits sniff that and know, that's your area, I won't enter that unless I want to fight. So you know, that's their way of communicating. So not my idea of a great way to communicate, but you know, it makes sense. And then you really can't be annoyed at them when they're just doing what comes to them naturally, I guess. So yeah, so at the moment in here, what I'm cleaning is Abby and Pickles and Onions and Bill and Ben's pen, and they're the little wilding group that I took on when they're about 7 weeks old. They're pretty close to 1 year old now, I reckon. So this is their area. They're not great fans of the vacuum cleaner, so they always go underneath their little hidey area there and hide while I'm doing all the cleaning. And this is Lolly and Theo's pen, and Theo came from somebody that could not keep him because she had some financial changes and life changes, and she had rescued him from a person that was going to actually feed him to his dog. Theo had head tilt at the time, and the person was just going to get rid of him, feed him to the dog. So this lovely lady obviously rescued him and nursed him back to health from his head tilt, and she was really bereft at having to rehome him, so she asked if he could come here. And she also had her father-in-law was suffering from a pretty awful illness, and he owned Lolly, who is in here with Theo. So Theo's the black and white one, and Lolly is the white and brown spotted bunny. And her father-in-law followed my page and really wanted Lolly to come here, should that, you know, he'd be okay with her being rehomed if she could come here. So I took those two on, and they had previously tried to bond, Theo and Lolly, but they just hadn't liked each other. So they said, you know, probably they can't be bonded, but they seemed to, once they were here, they seemed to decide they did like each other. So I don't know, different scenery, different change of area, maybe they just decided, okay, you know, you are okay now. So I ended up bonding them, and they're bonded. Theo had some teeth trouble when he came, so he was a little bit smaller when he came, a little bit more underweight. He'd had a few teeth issues, but we got them operated on shortly after coming here, and he is a much bigger boy now. So they have, this is my second bedroom, I guess, in my house. So they have half of the room, and then next to them is the Wildings. So that's those guys. And when I can't think of anything to say, I'm just going to put music in, because like I said, it's meant to be a really short video, and then I maybe decided that that wouldn't be the case. So I don't know what to talk about for that long. I don't like hearing myself just natter on as it is. So if I can't think of anything to say, I'm just going to put music in, and then when I get onto another pen, I'll check back in. And these are some of the pens that were okay from the night before cleaning. So Jersey and Memphis were pretty clean. Henry was pretty clean. I did clean this one, but the video decided not to record. So this is the after cleaning area of Thumper and Harland, and also same with these guys as well. The video just decided, no, I don't think I will record. So that was useful. So this is after I cleaned. And Nomura and River were pretty clean as well. So I didn't have to do them today, which was fabulous. So this is, the next pen I'm doing is Ellie's pen, and she's a big digger and chewer, so she loves to put cardboard all over the floor and make a lovely big mess of that, which is why I give her the boxes so she can do that natural behaviour. She also loves to dig right in her litter box and put the paper everywhere as well. And Ellie came from a family that had to move to Queensland, same as Harland. He was from the same family as well. And Ellie and Harland had always lived side by side, but they weren't D-sex, so they hadn't been bonded. So they had to go to Queensland. I'm very sad, obviously, in Australia, in Queensland, in Australia, you can't take rabbits there. It's a big, could be up to $60,000 fine to have rabbits in Queensland. In Australia, they're banned there as pets, unless you're a magician, which is really odd. So you have to have either a magician's licence or some specific licence to have rabbits there, and it's a very hard thing to actually be able to take them into the state. So they asked if they could come here, and I had thought that I would bond Ellie and Harlan together. Sorry if my voice sounds a bit funny, it's still a little bit weird from being unwell last week, but they had asked if they hadn't asked, what am I talking about? Think what I'm saying. I was going to bond Ellie and Harlan together, but then Harland and Thumper just really liked each other, and Harland would not leave her alone, and she really liked him, so I ended up bonding them, and I'm hoping that I can bond Ellie and Sir Hopkins, who is in the pen next to where I'm working, next to Ellie there. So hopefully that works out for those two. They like each other through the bars. They're always, Ellie's always giving him kisses and cleaning his eyes and stuff through the bars, so hopefully, but it's not going to be an easy bond. They're still quite reactive once they're in at the pen, because I tested it out to see how it will go, and they're still quite reactive in the pen together, so it's going to take a little bit of work, but hopefully they'll get there in the end when I get a bit of time to do that. I think that's pretty much Ellie's pen done, and now I was going to do Clyde and Daphne's pen, and the camera slipped, so pretty much you can't see anything of that. So this is about Clyde and Daphne's pen and the great cleaning job you can see here. So that's about that one done. This pen is where Sumo and Miso and Stevie are. So Miso's about 14 years old, Sumo's 13 years old, and Stevie is just over 1.5, something like that. And Stevie's a blind bunny. And they have floating wooden floor in this room, so I don't use the vacuum in here. I think it would be too scary for Stevie anyway, not being able to see. She gets quite startled by really loud noises, so what I do here is just put lots of thick blankets. So I use a lot of towels, and then putting vet bed or thick blankets over the top of that to padding for their hocks. And also they're easy to wash, because these guys aren't the best with their toileting habits, so they do tend to wee on the blankets and things like that, so it's easy for me to shake them out and wash them. And then I can just put new ones down, and it keeps it hygienic and clean for them that way. And they're funny, these guys are always very busy when I try and clean. They always like to get involved in that. So Miso and Sumo came from a lady that had to move to Melbourne, and she wanted to find somewhere very appropriate for her older rabbits that would get good care in their old age and have an indoor home. And Stevie came from a lady that rescued her. She was looking for a bunny, and she came across this lady that had Stevie, and Stevie had been born with echinoculi, head tilt, probably through her mum when she was born, and the lady was just going to cull her because Stevie couldn't make the lady any money. So this lovely person saved her and rehabilitated her from her head tilt. The echinoculi has left her blind, but she, has adjusted perfectly well to that. However, the lady couldn't keep her because her house was a little bit too noisy for Stevie, and she was a little bit unsettled. So she decided to find her a home that would be suitable for her, and Stevie ended up coming here. And I actually bonded her with a group of older bunnies when she was quite little still, because she was on her own, and I felt she'd just do a lot better with smell friends, as they call them. Or she can't see them, but she gets to know their scents, and she gets to know that they're her friends, and she has a fluffle which gives her security and comfort. And they accepted her so well, there was no picking on her or anything. She was just accepted into the fluffle, and so I was really, really lucky there. Just wasn't sure, but I consulted with our vet and one of our wonderful vets, and they said, yeah, give it a go. She'd do really well to have some friends and some security with other bunnies around her, and it worked out really well. So we were really lucky with that. And just putting all their toys. I give them a lot of soft toys, and a lot of these soft toys were Lotus's, who was one of my disabled bunnies that passed away some weeks ago. And the ones, her friends left behind do find comfort in having her toys there with her smell on them still, and that sort of thing to cuddle with. And they have heat mats in here as well for the older bunnies to keep them warm, because it is winter here in Tasmania now. And it keeps them nice and cosy, and I think that really helps them to keep weight on over winter too, because they're not using their energy to keep themselves warm, rather they're able to keep warm on the heat mats and with their cosy blankets and all their toys and that sort of thing, so they can put their energy into other staying well and staying healthy, because it can be tricky. I mean, Miso's got chronic watery eye, and Sumo's got chronic snuffles, which is a bacteria that is pretty much resistant to all antibiotics, so we just need to keep his immune system running well with his lifestyle, and help keep his sinuses clear so that he can have as much more time as he can, which is hopefully a lot more. So that is my routine of what I do to clean the bunny rooms, pretty much. I mean, there was some there obviously you didn't see, and some that didn't need doing, and then others that just didn't get recorded. So hopefully it wasn't too terribly boring. I mean, I don't even know if anyone will watch through to the end of the video, but if you do, thanks for watching. And I think that's enough of me babbling on, so I will put some music on for the rest of it.